Hi everyone, I hope you're really well. Long time no speak, so I apologise about that. I have so much news, I kind of don't know where to begin. Basically, there's been a lot of life stuff going on, so I thought I have been out for a bike ride this morning, I've had a shower, I've got to put some makeup on, so I thought I would do a catch up and get ready at the same time. So that's what is going to be happening today. But yeah, there's been an awful lot of life stuff going on, and it's made getting on YouTube quite difficult. And if I'm completely honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what the future is going to hold in terms of like regular content for me, just purely because it's become really difficult to find the time, as ridiculous as that sounds. I'm probably not going to talk much about makeup in this video because there's a hell of a lot of other stuff to say, but I can't even remember what makeup I was wearing the last time I did one of these, but I'm currently using Estee Lauder Double Wear on the daily in the shade Fresco. I've experimented with many different ways of how to use this, and if you're not sure if this is something that you'd like to try, do you want to come in a little bit? Maybe? Is this a bad idea? This is very weird. I've not done this for quite some time, and I'm planning to not do too much editing either, if I can help it. Yeah, in terms of double wear, I've tried using it lots of different ways, and I think you just need to be very light-handed with it, so don't go and try and slap a ton of it on your face, because I've tried that with a brush. It was not successful. So, where do I begin? I suppose I could start with the stuff that hasn't really changed. So, I'm still working at the same place that I was last time I saw you. I'm still working the same number of days. Which is just 3 days a week. So you're probably thinking, how have you not got the time? Well, one of my days off is now taken up with driving lessons, because I'm sure I would have mentioned this at some point on YouTube in the many videos that I've done, and I kind of feel like I have to actually say at this point, if anyone is actually watching this, I really appreciate it, because I just don't get much time on YouTube these days to check comments and all of that stuff, so I will kind of be amazed if anyone actually watches this. So if you are watching, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it, but as we all know, life can sometimes get in the way. So, yeah, I still get 2 days off a week, and then my weekends are also free. But like I was saying, really, one of my days off is totally taken over with learning to drive, which is a very long time coming. I mean, I turned 40 last year, so that's kind of ridiculous. But to be honest with you, I was pretty scared about learning to drive, so I just ended up putting it off for, well, a long time. And rather obviously, I really wish that I'd started doing it sooner. I absolutely love it at the moment. I do really enjoy it, but this week, I'm going to be driving. We've gone somewhere different each week, and this week we're going into probably the closest, biggest city centre that we have near me, and I'm not looking forward to it. There are some big roundabouts and some very impatient people, so we will see how that goes. But for the most part, I'm really enjoying it, and it still feels very surreal. I can't believe I actually am in a car and I'm driving it, because I'm so used to being a passenger. But when I was 17, I didn't really feel old enough to drive. You know, you're in charge of a lethal was going to say the word weapon. I suppose you could class it as a weapon in the wrong hands. But essentially that is what it is. And I just didn't feel like I could do it. And then as time went on, I then started to develop like recurrent nightmares. And then it just got to the point where I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And I never planned on becoming a parent and not being able to drive. Don't recommend it. It makes life very difficult. But hey ho, I'm getting it sorted now. That's the main thing. So yes, and then Monday, and today is a Monday, I'm just trying to catch up on loads of housework, and I usually go out for a bike ride. I've got 6 hours essentially of child-free time, and it's amazing how quickly it goes. So yeah, I don't have a huge amount of time. By the way, have you noticed the change of situation behind me? There used to be those massive floor-to-ceiling wardrobes, which I've always hated since we moved here, and I've wanted to get rid of them from literally the moment I laid eyes on them, and they're gone. And instead I have like this IKEA Kallax unit here is just kind of random storage because it was in the spare room, and then the spare room was getting a little bit full of stuff, so I've nicked it for a minute. I mean, I'd probably want to change it for the wicker basket things, because I think they look a little bit nicer. That looks a little bit rubbish at the moment, but it'll do. And then this is it the Malm? I think that's what the range is called. It's the big 6-drawer one. And basically I thought, yeah, 3 will be enough for me. No, we have clothes this side, clothes in those 2, and then the bottom one is all like beauty related stuff, so like hair care, skincare, makeup. And I've also had to put a load of stuff. We've got big drawers in this bed, and I've had to put a load of stuff in one of those bottom drawers. I basically need to have a massive declutter because I only have one face and I'm just not getting through any of it. But yeah, I'm really pleased. It's made the room a lot nicer, a lot bigger. So that kind of brings me neatly on to probably the biggest change to report, really. And that is the, so last year, me and my husband split up. Now, I've imagined having this conversation with you guys quite a few times, and I'm obviously not going to go into like tons and tons of detail, but I suppose the overview is we've been together 18 years, a lot of those years very nice, very pleasant, and just over time things change, I guess. Obviously we had our son, which is amazing, 6 years ago, but I just kind of feel like, I don't know, we'd changed. He didn't really feel like he was the same person anymore, and it got to the point where I'd been really trying to make things better, and I just didn't have the energy anymore, essentially. When I told my mum, she was not happy, and she said, marriage is hard work and you do need to work at it. And I was a bit sad about that, because I thought at the end of the day I am quite a motivated, tenacious person, and I have worked at it, and I have got friends who will attest to that, where I've spoken to them and like I don't know what to do, because I come from a broken family. The last thing I wanted was to be in that situation, really, especially given the fact that we have a young child as well. I mean, there's never probably an easy age to do it, and it was probably one of the most agonising decisions I've ever made, because it was me, you know, that decided to end things. And I think everyone was quite shocked, really, because from the outside, you know, we probably looked like quite a peachy, happy couple. you know, not massively coupley in front of people, but then I suppose that comes with being with someone for so long. I don't know. But yeah, people were quite surprised, and it's been a huge adjustment, and it's been quite complicated because initially he didn't want to say anything to our son, which I didn't really want to go along with, because I thought, you know, why sort of prolong it? But guilt is a funny thing, and because I was the one to end things, I do carry quite a bit of guilt in relation to just basically kind of going along with what he wanted. But then it got to the point where I can't really remember how this happened, because I told a couple of close friends what happened, and I trust them implicitly, so I can't imagine they would have said anything. But I live in a village, and rumours start to circulate, and when people start asking you about your private life, it kind of forced the situation, really. So I would have much more preferred to have been in control of that situation myself, and actually, not that Alex found out anything, I don't think anyone said anything to him, but I didn't like the fact that obviously someone was asking me what was going on, and I thought, well, obviously there's an awareness now, so we need to deal with this. And we were dreading telling him. I thought he'd probably be okay, and he was actually fine. You know, I think it depends on how you explain it. But he knew that we weren't all that coupley anyway. I mean, he's never really seen what you would describe as like a normal husband and wife or couple relationship, because we were never really all that coupley around him. So yeah, I don't think it probably came as much of a surprise. And his biggest concern was what was going to happen to the dog, and the fact that he wanted to stay with me. So yeah, as you can imagine, it's been an interesting time, but that happened a little while ago now. And then, because of the fact that I've felt really lonely for quite a long time, actually, because, like I said, we weren't very coupley, you know, no intimacy or anything. I really missed the companionship of having someone, so I went about it in, you know, a proactive way, and I actually found someone, and we've been together, what's it now? It's got to be nearly 4 months, I think. And I honestly can't believe it. It's, again, I'm not going to go into masses of detail on this. And the main reason for that, really, well, there's two main reasons, is obviously want to respect his privacy and my own. But also, I'm really conscious of the fact as well that obviously I don't want to hurt anyone. And it's a funny thing, like the world that we live in now. The last time I split up with someone, before splitting up with my husband, Facebook didn't even exist. Social media was not a thing. And it was a lot less complicated. You know, that person just kind of disappeared from your life. Whereas now, it's entirely different. And obviously we do have a child together. But it is a funny thing, because on the one hand, you meet this amazing person and you desperately want to tell everyone your news and how happy you are and how lucky you feel and all of that good stuff. But at the same time, your only real outlet to do that is social media, and I wouldn't want to unduly hurt anyone. I know some people, when they go through breakups, don't really think that way and they just do it anyway. But, you know, you don't want to or at least I don't want to rub salt into a wound. So I haven't put anything on Facebook. We're not even friends on Facebook. And from my point of view, that's, and probably from his as well, that's more to do with the fact that, you know, we're wanting to keep things a bit private, I suppose, because it is quite delicate, and because things are quite raw still, particularly on my side of things. I don't want to invite a world of kind of complication and difficulty into his life, which frankly he really doesn't need, because he's got his own stuff that he's dealing with. So yeah, we've kept things very private, and it's fine, you know, it's the right thing to do. It is frustrating in a way because you know, like I said, I do just really want to share how happy I am and all of the happy moments we have and stuff. I want to share that with the world, but you know, the feeling to be respectful to others, and you know, the whole respecting privacy and things as well outweighs that definitely. But yeah, we're very happy, and I can't believe I found him. He doesn't live like a million miles away, but far enough for it to be tricky. So I don't get to see a huge amount of him, although we do see each other like every weekend, which is amazing. And you kind of just have to feel your way through it, I suppose, really, because we've both got a hell of a lot going on in our lives. And when you're trying to navigate a new relationship in amongst all of that as well, it's really hard. And when I sort of step back and consider everything, and you know, like I said, how lucky I am to find him, and how well we get on, and all of the baggage and, you know, the complicating factors. I know a lot of people do this, you know, families split up and they meet other people and it's fine and whatever. But actually, when you're going through the reality of that situation, it's quite complicated. You know, there's a lot of feelings and thoughts, and it's obviously not as straightforward as if we were 10 years younger without any kids. But it is what it is, and I feel incredibly lucky. He is absolutely wonderful, and like I keep saying, I can't believe my luck. We're quite similar in a lot of ways, which is great. We have some quite similar hobbies. He makes me laugh a lot, which I think is really important. He's got a great attitude, you know, to life. He's quite motivated, ambitious, which is nice. And he's interesting to talk to as well. And yeah, the going is very good at the moment. Long may that continue, because like I've said quite a few times now, I can't believe my luck, really. I feel absolutely blessed. Is there much more that I can say about this situation? Oh, the reason why I took what probably seemed like a very random segue from talking about this to that is what prompted this happening was, I mean, I wanted to have it done anyway, but my ex-husband really wants to sell the house, which I'm pretty devastated about, to be honest with you. It's understandable, and I wish I was in a position to stay here. But yeah, we started to make some changes and make the house look as nice and as sellable as possible. And then it kind of occurred to me a few weeks ago, I was like, this feels like it's all happening really fast, and I think we just need to slow things down. It's going to be a lot for Alex to process. So I'm hoping I've managed to sort of explain to him that perhaps doing that right now wouldn't be the best idea. It didn't go down very well when I first mentioned it. But, you know, I've tried to explain to him, I'm not doing this from a selfish place. I'm doing this from a, I think it's genuinely the right thing to do for the moment. So there's a lot of stuff up in the air right now, and any free time I've had has been like catching up on housework or learning to drive or seeing my new boyfriend. And as much as we don't see each other like a huge amount, I mean, we speak on the phone a lot. I mean, God, in the early days, it was absolutely hilarious. We used to literally be on the phone, like, we've easily done 3 hours, more than a handful of times, I would say. We just used to chat about everything and anything. So we do speak on the phone quite a lot, and obviously message each other, but actually physically seeing each other, because that is the preferred, obviously. It is like every weekend, which is amazing. And yeah, it doesn't really leave a lot of time for much else. If you're curious as to what palette I just used, by the way, this is the one that I'm using on the daily at the moment. It's one of the Smashbox ones, which Alex loves playing with these. I do have another one, the Ablaze one, which I'm not so keen on. It's very warm toned, and I think I just don't really like warm toned palettes. This is the Minimalist one. So it's not in the best shape. It has had a lot of use. You can see I've seriously hit pan on my favourites there. But I really like this, and it's small, it's quite handy. So if you're curious, that's what I've just used. I don't think there's probably much more to say about that, but hopefully it will help you guys sort of understand where things are and why I've not been around very much. You know, there's been a hell of a lot going on, and to be honest, YouTube hasn't been very high up in my thought process. I still go on YouTube to look stuff up, and the controversy around Diva Curl has not escaped my attention. I'm a bit shocked. I've watched a few videos on it. I'm not 100% sure how I feel, because I know it came off on the back of, was it, I can't remember whose video it was that I watched, but someone had an appointment with the curl doctor or whatever he's called in the US, and he was like laying a lot of hints about, you should have a look at, you know, this app called Think Dirty or whatever it's called. And if you've not heard of it, it's an app where you can search for products and it will sort of rank how bad they are for you in terms of like the long term. Which I did get the app, and it's pretty terrifying. Pretty much everything I've managed to find has had like a red flag on it, which is like, it does make you think, like, all these things that I'm using, what is it actually doing to my body? Because there's a lot of unnatural stuff going on here. But I think the entire Diva Curl product range ranks in the red, and you can click into it and it will give you all of the reasons why. It will pick out particular ingredients and then explain to you it's linked to X, Y, Z, or it's carcinogenic or whatever it says. But then I've also looked up other products that I use, and they're also classed as red. So Diva Curl seems to be getting a lot of negative press at the moment, but then I think if you dug into a few other brands, then, you know, they're probably not great either. I've seen some really interesting before and after pictures and videos of people who have been using Diva Curl for a long time, and obviously it's really wrecked their hair. And I have an absolute truckload of DevaCurl products, which if you're in the UK too, they've just been able to be bought in this country. I was having to find it here, there and everywhere, paying import duty and stuff, because I was really sold to the DevaCurl philosophy. And yeah, it's really bad timing for them because it's now launched in the UK. I think Feel Unique are carrying it. I can't remember who else. And now you've got all this controversy. So I had just kind of got through 2 of the massive bottles of the No Poo and the One Condition. I've got a couple of travel size ones still, and I've got a ridiculous amount of styling products. It's not even funny. Which has all cost me quite a lot of money. And I'm not quite sure what to do with it, because I have really struggled with my hair. I really wish I hadn't had it cut so short last year. It's taking forever to grow back, although you probably look at this today and think, oh, it's actually grown quite a lot. That's partially also because of the styling product I've used in my hair today. It's not made my hair all that curly, so it's probably looking longer than it would do normally. I have been experiencing difficulty with my hair, dryness perpetually. You know, the amount of money I have spent on my skin and hair is kind of ridiculous, trying to find something that will work. If you've got good skin and you can chuck anything on it, and if your hair is pretty good as well, and you know, you can brush it or, you know, make it look okay reasonably, then I'm very jealous, because my skin and my hair has been a bit of a nightmare really. And as much as I've, you know, got quite well on top of my skin, my hair, I'm just still not quite there with it yet. But like I said, cutting it didn't really help either. So I don't know what to do with all these products I've got. But I was also having some scalp issues as well, and I know that a lot of people were saying, in terms of the controversy, they were having scalp issues too. And when I say scalp issues, it wasn't really like itchy or dry or anything. I just used to get really, really bad, like sore bits on my scalp is the only way of describing it. And then they'd kind of like scab over a bit and just really unpleasant. Not what you want at all. And at the time, I did sort of think to myself, when I was still using the DevaCurl stuff regularly, I did sort of think to myself, I've literally never had my scalp do this before. What the hell is going on? And now I'm wondering if it was DevaCurl that was doing it, because my scalp was not happy. And I didn't stop using this stuff because of any of the controversy. I just started gravitating towards using other things. And I do have all of these styling products, which I do dip in and out of every now and again. But it just kind of depends on, you know, how I'm experimenting with my hair and wash day and stuff, really, as to what I pick up. So you'll have to let me know in the comments if you've tried DevaCurl and how your hair has been, hair and scalp. I'll be really interested. I'll be watching what happens to this story quite keenly. I think there is due to be quite a high profile court case. But correct me if I'm wrong, I can't recall of anything on this sort of level of global controversy happening before. I know, like, one-off beauty products there have been issues with for XYZ whatever reason, but this is kind of like they're going for the whole product range, which is huge, and goodness knows what it's like to be working at DevaCurl right now. I'm quite liking this mascara at the moment. I got this as part of like a reduced Christmas gift set because I was running out of mascara, and I'm still trying to find the one that does the things that I want it to. And this is a Lancome, which one is this again? Hypnose, the volume one. And I quite like it. It looks quite natural. and it makes my lashes quite long as well, and I don't think it smudges, whereas some of the other ones that came in the pack, because they're all like little diddy ones, some of those do smudge on me, which is really irritating, not what you want. Right, I think that is probably my makeup done. I'm tending to lean more towards doing pretty quick minimalist makeup at the moment. And we all know that I don't really do lipstick, I just do lip balm. This one is the Fresh Sugar Lemon one. I just love this formula, it's amazing. Right, I'm just going to do something with my hair and I will be back in a second. There we go, this is basically the same hairstyle that I have been wearing pretty much on the daily since I had my hair cut, because I can't really wear it down, it's still not quite long enough, and it's just not looking right. And whenever I try and put it up, it's still not long enough underneath, so that bits fall out. So I end up just trying to, you know, pin bits of it back. If you're wondering what styling product I've got in my hair today, because my hair's looking so fabulous, it's this one that I'm currently trying from IGK, and it's Rich Kid, which is the coconut oil gel. And I've used not a lot of it because it comes out very thick and slightly intimidating, and it was okay. I've used a lot today and basically had the same sort of results. It looks very natural, quite fluffy. The hold is not fabulous. I mean, it's not as bad as if I didn't have anything in my hair at all, obviously. But yeah, not overly impressed with this, to be honest. I might have to try layering it with something else on the top, maybe a different gel or something. Anyway, I think I've probably covered everything I wanted to say, although there's bound to be something I've forgotten. I hope you guys are all really, really well, and thank you for sticking with me. Like I said, I have no idea how often I'm going to be hopping on and off, but I will try and hop on and just give you updates and show you anything exciting worth showing you, basically. Anyway, I will see you again at some point, no doubt.